Curtis Calhoun here with MMA News, and my next guest is getting ready to return at UFC 287. Rob Font joins me today. How's it going, Rob?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, man. First things first, just kind of talk to me about these past 12 months. Obviously, it's been a while since we saw you in the octagon. How pumped are you to get back in there at UFC 287?
Oh man, I'm itching. I'm excited. I'm happy. It's been a while. Obviously, I needed the recovery, needed the time off. The last fight got a little rough. Took some damage. Took some cuts. Just needed the time off to kind of heal up, and but I felt good. I felt great actually. The long time off is needed. I've done it before. I don't want to have to take this time off, but I could find gems in between all this time off. And yeah. Obviously, I watched the last fight a couple of times. I figured out me broke it down what I was doing right, what I was doing wrong, and I plan on not making mistakes again.
Absolutely, man. And how important do you feel like it is for you, especially coming off of a layoff, facing a guy like Adrian Yanez, who is, he's never in a boring fight. He's always in these crazy wars and a guy that has a lot of momentum right now. I guess, how exciting is that prospect for you?
Great, man. This is obviously he's doing his thing. He's 5-0. Okay, 5-0 in the UFC. He has a lot of fights even before he even got into the UFC, so he has some experience. And he has the momentum. He has momentum following him through this fight. So that's a tough fight. That's a dangerous man, and he wants to break into the top 10. So he's going to be itching and clawing for everything he can get. And so again, this is dangerous. But this is another UFC fight for me, man. It's like everybody's dangerous, everybody's tough, everybody's clawing for that. But vice versa, I'm the same way. I got to get back onto the win streak, so I'm gonna claw for every little inch as well. I'm hungry as well, and I want this fight just as bad as he wants this fight. So I think all that being said, I think all it does equal for another great fight.
And I think this is the first time, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the first time you've been outside the Apex in like something like 3.5 years, right? So how exciting is that for you to be able to fight in front of a crowd again and feed off that energy?
Yeah, so I haven't fought in front of a crowd since 2019. Ricky Simone was my last fight in DC, and then then it was all Apex. So especially the first two, it was kind of like really dead, and then the last they kind of had a couple, like had more friends and family and fans, but it wasn't like an arena. So and then it wasn't like this type of card too. So the energy for this card is he's gonna be insane. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be loud. Um, yeah, I'm excited. There's something about like hitting somebody and feeling the crowd, feeling the canvas shake, feeling like knowing the finish is about to happen, and just kind of fires you up, lights you up. It's like a roller coaster ride where you just can't, like, you want to do it again. Like, even when you're jacked up, hurt, and walking back you just kind of want to do it again because of that feel, and you can't produce that. Like, and again, like you still kind of get it in the Apex and a little bit. You still get the fight feeling, but you don't get the extra crowd, the mood, the vibration of the crowd, and you don't get that. So I'm excited for that. And yeah, it's been a while, but I think it's the perfect timing for it.
Especially with your style, are you a guy that kind of feeds off of that energy of the crowd, or are you just completely zoned in on what you're trying to do in there?
I think I don't say I feed off the crowd. Like, I don't need the crowd. If it's like boo me, I'm not gonna be all upset. Or if they're too loud, I'm not gonna be like quiet. Quiet. Nothing like that. I think it's more of like once you kind of get into the motion of hurting somebody, you can feel like how close it is. Like from how like how they scream or whatever. Especially like last time I fought in Boston, like I heard a dude, and I could Thomas Almeida, and I can just feel like I was close, and like the crowd almost like is like pushing you to like keep going, you're right there. It's like you can kind of like, it's hard to explain. You can feel that energy from the crowd, and then when it happens, and like say the ref pulls you off, it's just like an explosion. And just everybody goes crazy, you go crazy, your corner's going crazy. You can feel the energy, you can feel the smiles, you can see the haters, all that, and it's just a crazy feeling.
Do you feel like your caliber of competition, your wealth of experience in MMA and the UFC gives you, sort of an advantage in this matchup in terms of knowing what to expect? I mean, you face guys like Marlon Vera, Jose Aldo, a UFC Hall of Famer, and then a guy in Vera that's on a roll right now. I guess, do you kind of see your experience coming out in this matchup?
Yeah, I do. I feel like I fought a lot of tough competition. I've been in there with a lot of great guys since I started. My debut was George Roop, and my last fight was Cejudo. So it's kind of like been around a lot of tough fights. I'm always in a tough fight. And I just think, like I said, I feel like once I get going and start getting on and doing what I want to do in there, I want a big brother this dude. I want to get in there and I want to just big brother him and kind of remind him, or not necessarily him, remind everybody else that like I'm still here.
I was about to ask you about that. Like, do you feel like in a way you're kind of entering this fight with a little bit of a chip on your shoulder in terms of reminding the division of your presence and your place in the title picture and all that? Do you feel like that's the case?
Yeah, it is. It's tough because especially after coming off a loss, you're kind of always that guy, But coming off of two losses back to back, it's like, yeah, like, like you're, you know, people forget fast, and it sucks that it's corny to say, but you kind of are only as good as your last fight, and that's what people remember, and so it's kind of like let me remind them just to get the conversation going again. And then from there, let's get right back into the gym and get back to matchmaking and all that stuff, and then letting the division play out. But like my job is to not too worry about it too much, but just a quick reminder to the UFC, and obviously the fans and everybody else that like I'm still here.
I don't want to touch too much on your last fight, but obviously it's been a while. So I want to ask, like, what are some of the lessons you took away from that fight against Marlon Vera?
Just slowing it down sometimes in certain spots and picking and choosing when to go. I think I think I know. Well, once I think it was the second round. I think I won the first round. The second round, he dropped me. I was winning this, kind of squeaking out the second round. Then I got dropped, and then from there I got up. Like if I was down 10 rounds, I got up into the third round. Like I was completely losing the fight, and it was basically even. And maybe not. I think on the scorecard, I think they would have, but I got up like I was down so bad, and in that, and I think if I can slow it down and pick and choose, almost like how a boxer doesn't necessarily try to finish the whole time, he just wins the fight, and with me, it's more like I won't want to finish. I'm like I'm trying to get that finish, but sometimes like I need to chill out with that shit and just kind of win the fight and do what I got to do to kind of get to the next fight, but it's tough though because like you do all that, and I put out a lot of numbers, which is cool and all that, but it wasn't necessarily hurting them. I think I broke my own record at significant strikes and on a loss, which sucks. It's weird because like I broke a lot of records and I got paid the most because Dana actually hooked it up. He gave me both checks for it off the Leo saying, he was like, bro, I don't care. Like that was awesome. You missed weight. I don't keep. He FaceTimed me when I was in the hospital. Like, I don't even care about the weight cut. That was crazy. That was fun. I'm giving you both checks. And I was like, yeah. So it's like I'm feeling like I'm seeing I'm breaking records, and I'm getting that's the most I've ever got paid, but it's off loss. You know what I'm saying? And I know and I still know I got another year to take off. So it was bittersweet. But I think dropping the output. It was not necessarily dropping the output, but just punching for no reason. I could have just hit him 5 times and walked away instead of hit him 5 times, back up, and try to go 7 times, back up, try to go 8 more times. And with all that volume, and that's more opportunity for him to kind of. And he was just sitting back, waiting, biding time, waiting, and then as I'm, whatever, getting lazy or not hitting as hard or making a mistake, he capitalized on it. Shouts out to him. I think I learned big lesson there, and I don't plan on doing that again this fight.
Now, obviously, I know you're not looking past Adrian. Obviously, a tough opponent with a lot of momentum. But I got to ask you, like, what do you forecast in terms of your 2023? You get a win over Adrian? Are we looking at a matchup with somebody in the top 5? Or I guess what's kind of your game plan for 2023?
Yeah, obviously get back in the win column. If I could fight another top 5 opponent, that's ideal. It's tough. Everybody's kind of booked. If I could fill in for somebody, that'd be cool too. But there's still bigger names behind me too. So got Cruz out there. There's fights to be made. But the goal is to get back in the win column.
Absolutely, man. I gotta ask you too. Obviously, you welcomed a baby girl last December. I saw on your Instagram, man. Congrats again. A lot of fighters that I've talked to who have children, they talk about the change in their life and their mindset and all that. Have you felt that so far in terms of what you're fighting for and who you're fighting for?
I still, yes and no. Like I don't want to say there's like this big transformation. I think it's just a lot more like joy and like a lot more love, a lot more smiles, and yeah, I would say there's an urgency for me to get back home. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see her. I definitely, like when I leave, there's like, all right, I gotta be on point today. I gotta come back to her, and I do like I kind of like play tricks with myself where I pretend like she's there watching me do these techniques, watching me scramble, watching me hit pad. So and I'm trying to be a great example. So she's there watching me. I'm like, if my hands are down, why would I show her to keep your hands down or not push as hard as you can to kind of get off the ground or get on top or finish that submission. So I do that, but I don't think there's like a major change. I do feel there is a little more pep in my step when I'm getting up and going and everything like that. But there's not like this crazy dramatic. I mean, I wish I could tell you that it's been so chill. It's been real chill. Like it's been like obviously knock on wood, but like the birth was so smooth. Like she's so chill. Like she's just like if we mess up and don't feed her on time, she'll let us know. If she's got a dirty diaper, she'll let us know. And after that, if she's tired, she'll let us know. With like these little like things she does. But after that, she's just there. Saying what's up, wants to hang out. Well, I felt like she kind of watches TV with us, and like I was watching a movie the other day, and she was just staring, like laughing, looking at the fan, and just laughing, and just real cool. And then so I feel like we have another partner there. It's not like this crazy baby that's crying all day long, or like we're going crazy or anything like that. So I think it's just been like it's just like the right time, right moment.
Couple more questions for me, man. Once again, I really do appreciate the time. I got to ask you right there at the top. It sounds like there's a rumor going around that Aljamain Sterling and Henry Cejudo are going to square off possibly as soon as UFC 288. If that matchup comes to fruition, how do you see that playing out?
Oh man, I love it. I love the fight. I'm more interested in the press conference and the pre-fight hype. It's gonna be funny. Henry always brings it. Aljamain's hilarious as well. As far as the fight goes, I think I'm gonna stick with the champ on this one. Yeah.
I gotcha, man. Last question for me. What are the headlines going to read after UFC 287? You get your hand raised against Adrian Yanez. What are we going to be talking about? What are we going to be writing about?
Man, I want to get a submission under my belt. I haven't got one in a while. I want to. I did an interview earlier. I was like, I want to club and sub this guy. Club, bang, 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 hit him a couple punches, and I'll put him down and jump on something. Or obviously, and anyway, I can get my hand raised. But I definitely want to get back into a couple submissions here and there.
I love it. Well, Rob, before we wrap things up here, I'll give you the final word to shout out any sponsors you have, shout out any up and coming fighters, the New England Cartel. I'll give you the final word.
Man, first of all, appreciate you having me on the show. I just want to shout out the First Form. They always take care of me. Matchup FX, they always take care of me as well. And again, all the up and coming guys fighting for New England Cartel. We got Combat Zone coming soon. Calvin Cadish Promotions. They're putting on a show in Encore. Dana White actually is coming out. Dana White looking for a fight coming to his show. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, man, thank you.
Absolutely. Well, Rob, it was great to meet you. Great to chat with you. All the best with these few weeks of camp coming up. And I have a feeling we'll definitely chat again soon, man. Thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Anytime, man. Thanks again.